Time's running out, Anubarak. We've got to get inside the throne chamber before Illidan does.
The throne chamber lies within the frozen peak at the center of the valley. It can only be opened by activating the 4 enchanted obelisks that surround it. Illidan's forces have already entrenched themselves near 2 of them. We'll need to drive them back and reactivate the obelisks ourselves.
We're sorry to interrupt your meditation, Master, but all our forces are in place.
Once the chamber is opened, we will destroy the frozen throne, as promised.
Then the hour has come at last. After today, the Scourge will meet its end. Can you hear me out there, Arthas? Its end!
Illidan has mocked the Scourge long enough. It's time we put the fear of death back in him. Speak, fool. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
You rang.
Thy bidding, Master. Yes, Master. I gladly obey. My fate is sealed.
Out of your league, old king. You should have stayed hidden underground.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
Foolish undead! This obelisk belongs to me.
This is more like it.
Our forces are under attack.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last.
Hello, Arthas.
You look different, Illidan. I guess the Skull of Gul'dan didn't agree with you. It's complete. Finally.
Summoning
This is more
complete.
like it. Ah, at last. I've reached the first obelisk. It will take me a few moments to activate it. I'll need protection while I work.
This obelisk has been activated. We've got to push on.
The obelisk is now active and under our control. However, Illidan will likely try to take it from us. We must defend this point at all costs.
This is more like it. At last. Finally. Are you still upset that I stole Jaina from you, Kale?
You've taken everything I've ever cared for, Arthas. Vengeance is all I have left.
Our forces are under attack.
Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it.
I'll consume the living and the dead.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Our forces are under attack.
This is more like it.
Another obelisk has been activated.
This is more like it. At last. Finally. This is more like it.
My life for Ner'zhul. Thy will be done.
At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last.
Faithless coward.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it.
I wish only to serve. Thy will be done. I cannot summon there. I gladly obey.
At last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
The third obelisk has been activated. Only one more remains. Rise up, my warriors.
I serve only the frozen throne. I have heard the summons.
We've done it, Anubarak. The throne chamber is open. This is the hour of the Scourge.
The frozen throne is mine, demon. Step aside. Leave this world and never return. If you do, I'll be waiting.
I have sworn to destroy it, Arthas. It must be done.
Never.